Hi, I'm Danny Carter-Iddens, creator of Taking Back You. My vision for Taking Back You was simple. I wanted to create a safe place for mamas to focus on the dreams that have been placed on their hearts, where they could walk alongside other mamas who get and give advice on how to do this mom thing. I want to tell mamas what I wish someone had told me, and to build a community of mothers who aren't afraid to reach for the stars, even while holding their children in their arms. Want to learn more? Visit takingbackyou.com, because at Taking Back You, we know happy moms raise happy kids. You are listening to the Taking Back You podcast, hosted by Danny Carter-Iddens. Taking Back You is a witty, authentic, and sometimes sarcastic show for young mamas who are trying to reclaim themselves while fully entrenched in motherhood. Hello. This is the Taking Back You Momcast, and I am your host, Danny Carter-Iddens, and today we are talking all about balancing motherhood and your dreams. So guys, the first thing that I want to share with you is something that didn't necessarily occur to me until just a couple of years ago. It's that, you can be a mom, but that doesn't mean you have to give up on your dreams or give up on the things that, bring you joy or that, fill your heart up. In fact, it's actually the opposite. Think about how many times, honestly, do we tell our children to follow their dreams? We tell them that all the time, don't we? We tell them, okay, you have dreams. I want you to follow them. I want you to do what you have to do so that you can be happy. But then we turn around and we don't practice what we preach. We tell our kids to follow their dreams, but for some reason, we stop doing that. And I don't know why that is, but a lot of times we believe that being a mom means that we now no longer get to follow the dreams that have been placed in our hearts. But here's my question. Where do you think they're going to learn how to follow their dreams if we don't lead by example? So what I mean is, how are they supposed to understand that it's okay to follow their dreams and to, have goals and big aspirations when we're not allowing ourselves to do the same thing? And what I want you to realize too is that, being a mother, it just can't be your entire identity. It just can't. I'm really a stickler for this because I have seen so many women lose themselves in motherhood. And that's not to say that you can't enjoy motherhood. Motherhood is amazing. It is a gift. It is a gift. And it's a gift that I take, very important. But I want you to remember too that being a mom can't be the only thing that you are. I mean, if you think about it, really, it says it doesn't work like that. You're a mom. You might be a sister. You're an aunt. You might be, you're a daughter. There are so many things. You're a wife. There are so many things that you are that if you make it so that being a mom is your entire identity, your entire existence, what you're really doing is you're stopping yourself from being a part of a bigger puzzle, being a part of a bigger, life that you can be a part of. And I know, that motherhood can seem like a trade-off. And, a lot of times it is. A lot of times you have to focus on someone else's needs over your own. That is the biggest change that anyone will tell you who, is now a mother that wasn't before, is that you can't even begin to believe how there's another person that you think about and you care about more than yourself. It's a mother's love is just so interesting that way. It's like no one can ever prepare you for it. No one can explain it to you in a way that you'll get it until you are a mom. Is that you really do love someone more than you love yourself. And that's a weird, it's a weird kind of it's a mind trip. But the thing is that even though you have to do this constantly as a mother, and listen, it doesn't change. I have a 5-year-old. He's 5.5. Actually, he tells me this all the time now. His half birthday was at the beginning of this month, so now he's 5.5, which we all have to be very cognizant of that. But you have to realize that even though you constantly have to, supply the needs of other people, of your children, it doesn't mean that your dreams have to um, have to be pushed completely to the wayside, or that they have to be completely forgotten. They might have to take a backseat for a little bit for the way, time is and just where you are in your life, stage in your life, but that doesn't mean that they have to be forgotten. So what I want you to do is I actually want you to pause this podcast for just a second. And I want you to think about what it is you've always wanted to do. And I want you to think about it in terms of whether or not you became a mom, a wife, a whatever. I want you to think about what it is you've always wanted to do. I'll tell you my three things, and only one of these happened. But one of the things that three of the things that I always want to do is I told my mom when I was 5 years old, I wanted to work for Burger King, I wanted to work for McDonald's, and I wanted to be a lawyer. I never worked at Burger King, and I never went to McDonald's, and I did go to law school, and I didn't like it. So there you go. But you get more dreams. You have more dreams. So, but I want you to pause this. I want you to pause the podcast, and I want you to write down 3, dreams or ideas. Heck, even if they're just like things that you're like, no, that could never happen. I want you to write it down. I'll wait. And now, if you did do that, if you did pause it for a second, welcome back. What I want you to do now is I want you to begin to make a plan. Because here's the thing. If you have, a goal or a dream with no plan, then that's just, you're just like basically not doing anything. Because if you don't have a plan, if you don't have, a way to achieve your goal or to reach your dreams, what happens is it falls to the wayside and other things come in and become more important. So you have to figure out how to get to where you want to go. And I talk about goal setting all the time. I'm the queen of goal setting because setting a goal to help your dreams become reality is really important, because it's really easy, especially as a mom, to kind of get lost and to kind of forget what you need to do to make your dreams happen. And then I want you to work around your children's schedules. Now, this is the hard one, and this is where I lose most people. Your job is to be a mom, but it's also to follow the things that you need to do for your life. Here's what I mean. If you are working around your children's schedules and you're doing things that make you happy, then when you are coming back to, being with your children, you are going to be more fulfilled. You're going to be a better mom. I know it's really hard to see that, but it's true. It really is true. When you're doing things that make you happy, it will make you a better mom. So once you figure out a plan and once you figure out how to work it around your children's schedules, I want you to get your spouse or your partner on board. One of the biggest reasons people don't follow through with, what their dreams are, what they have planned, it's that they don't have the support of their friends and their family. And, I want to say that, but I also want to say that the support of your friends and your family is not necessary. I can't tell you how many times there are things that I have wanted to do, that I have known that I was supposed to do, that God, placed on my heart and said, Danny, you need to do this. And then when I brought it up to my family and brought it up to my friends, they were like, no. And you know what? That was okay. I kept going. I kept doing what I needed to do. And that's what you need to do. If you can figure out how to get your spouse or your partner on board, please, please, please do that. It will make it so much easier, because sometimes they sabotage you. They really do. And they don't realize they're doing it. But if they have a problem with what you're trying to do, they might subconsciously sabotage you. So you want to get that all out in the open. You want to explain what your dream is. You want to explain, why you need to do this. And then you want to ask them to help you and to support you in what you're trying to do. And I want you to roll out your plan in phases, really, so that you aren't taking on too much at once. That's the biggest thing. I think what happens a lot of times is we get really excited. You finally figure out, okay, I'm going to follow my dreams. I'm going to open my bakery. I'm not opening a bakery, but that's my example. I'm going to open my bakery. And then you go 0 to 60 and you start figuring out all these things that you need to do. And what happens every single time? You're gung-ho for a week, maybe 2. You might make it 3. And then boom, you crash and you burn. And that's because the rate that you're going is not sustainable. So you got to roll out your plan in phases. You have to figure out, how to do what you want to do, but not take on, too much at one time. And you're going to have to realize that your priorities are going to have to be shuffled around a bit. Being a mom is super important, but, sometimes we put more on ourselves than we need to. We give ourselves more obligations than we need to. So maybe you need to, start asking for help. Ask your friends, ask your family. Hey, I got to go do this. Can you step in? And see it as an opportunity for your children to spend more time with other people who aren't you. They can spend time with grandparents, family friends, close family friends. Aunts and uncles. Think about how you can shift your priorities a little bit so that you can make it happen. And then also, bring your children into it as well by allowing them to become closer with other people in your family while you're trying to do this. And like I said, get your family on board. If you're asking them, hey, I need you to kick in, I need you to step in, I need you to help. Listen, I don't know a grandma that you can't tell what you're trying to do as far as she knows she's going to get her grandchildren more. I don't know a grandma who's not going to go for that. So, if you're saying hey, this is what I want to do, can you help? I need some help. Grandmas are awesome resources. And if you don't have a grandma, that you can utilize. In my son's life, he has his 2 grandmas, and then he also has, honorary grandmas that are always willing to jump in and to help and to watch him. So, this is maybe, I don't know, you might have to make some friends, y'all, and find some people in your life who can support you and who can build you up, and finding support is so important, because women, we need a tribe. We need people to back us up whenever we do anything. It's just kind of how we're built. We need to do things with the support of our homies. We just do. And so if you don't have, friends behind you, family behind you, somebody who's on your team, it's going to be really hard to follow your dreams. It's going to be really hard to embrace your dreams, because you are not going to have your cheering squad behind you. You need a cheering squad. You just do. You need at least, it doesn't have to be a lot of people. I say squad, but really you need one person who's on board, who believes in you and who knows that you can do it. And they're that person who, when things are not going well, when everything's kind of falling apart, you call them, and they're the person that tells you, no, you got this. You can do this. Girl, don't play with me right now. You can do this. Get out there, do the thing. I always, my rule for me is I allow myself 1 cry and 1 glass of wine. When things don't go my way, I get to cry once and I get to drink a glass of wine. And then that's it. That's my mommy temper tantrum. I do that, and then I get back on the bike and I start doing it again. Because if you let the failures, if you let all of the, bad things that can happen. And listen, I'll be real. Just because you decide to follow your dreams doesn't mean everything is going to be sunshine, puppy dogs, happiness. It's going to be hard, but it's also worth it. If you've been listening to me at all, I won't lie to you. A lot of the stuff that you need to do is hard. It just is. Being a mom is hard. Following your dreams is hard. Being, there for people, whether in the capacity of being a mom or spouse or friend or whatever, is hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, but I'm not saying it's not difficult, but what I am saying is that it's worth it. And following your dreams is worth it, because I want you to remember this, and I've said it before. I want you to remember this. And I keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. You're gonna hear it. I read it in a book, and it goes along these lines. It's this idea that you have to remember that you can only go so long without following the dreams that God has placed on your heart. You can only go so long. It will be a constant tug. It will be a constant pull. You will always feel like you are being pulled in a different direction. Your eyes will always be open to that possibility. It will smack you in the head if you don't do it. God has a way of making things happen that really, really, really should. Because, some of us are dense. Some of us are not trying to, follow. We want to do whatever we think we're supposed to be doing. And he goes, no. These are the things that I put on your heart. So I'm going to need you to do those, because that's your job. And so I want you to know that, not following your dreams, not following the dreams that have been placed in your heart, it can not only hurt you, but it can hurt your family. And it can possibly hurt your legacy. Because if you think about it like this, if these are the dreams that, God has placed on your heart, then this is what you're supposed to bring to the table. This is what you're supposed to do with your life. Sacrifices will have to be made. Let's be honest. Let's put it out there, because I know here go the excuses. Well, but Danny, what about this? And bibbidi that, and dope this. And listen, sacrifices are going to have to be made. Got it. There. I have sacrificed a lot of things to do what I'm doing right now. But this is something, the fact that I am talking to you right now, that I made an investment in audio equipment to talk to you every week, to talk to other moms every week. This is something that God put on my heart. It's legitimately out of my control. And so do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? Like, this is something that's been in the back of my head for a long time, and I kept ignoring it. I kept thinking, I can't do it. I don't have the ability to do it. And I still don't really know what I'm doing. Let's be honest. But this is what I have to do. And there's something in your life that's the same exact way. This is what you have to do. It's what you have to do. It's what you have to do, because God wants you to do it. It's your job. It's your job for while you're on earth. So think about what you could bring to the table if you followed through with what you're supposed to do. And realize sacrifices are going to have to be made. Listen, the sacrifice is being made anyway, because even if you don't follow through on your dreams, you're sacrificing your dreams. Something is going to be sacrificed. Think about what is going to be sacrificed. And remember, comparison is the thief of joy. So when you finally make the decision to do what you want to do, what you need to do deep into your soul, you have to do it. I don't want you to think you failed because you aren't where another woman is, or another person who is doing what you want to be doing is. Especially if they aren't a mom. Because I mean, like, remember, all the time before we were moms, like, I always ask my husband, how did we not, like, conquer the world before we were moms? Because before I was a mom, because I don't understand. Because I'm like, what was I doing with all my free time? But, don't compare yourself to other people. And don't see it as a failure just because you're not where you think you should be. If you're following your dreams, if you're embracing your dreams and you're following through on your plan, even if all the steps of the plan don't work or you don't get there, revise and keep going. And look up to people who are doing it. Look up to people who are doing what you're doing. It's okay. You can look up to them. Look up to these people. And, don't be disappointed if your outcome looks different, but look up to these people who are doing what you're doing. One of my favorite writers, I talk about her all the time, Rachel Hollis. I'm not over here being jealous of her. I am proud of her. And I'm proud to, to allow myself to, kind of follow my dreams. And part of that is because of her. I'm watching her do it and I'm thinking, hey, she can do it, I can do it. So look up to the people who are doing what you want to do and who are where you want to be. Don't feel like you're not good enough. Use that as, hey, I can do it. That person did it. Why can't I do it? She's got 4 kids. I got no excuse. I only have 1 kid. What am I doing? You know what I mean? You've got to stop all the roadblocks. You got to kick them down, knock them down. There's so many things that there's so many excuses. And listen, I gave them all. I had, you name an excuse, I had it. And, but it's funny because I tell my students all the time, excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has them and most of them stink. And that is the truth. So cut the excuses, get to work, embrace your dreams. Because listen, here's the deal. And this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with this. For as long as you're alive, you will be a mother. That's it. You are now a mom. You have a child. You are the mother of that child. And for as long as you live, for as long as you are on this earth, you are a mom. And actually, honestly, even when you go off into whatever the next phase of existence is, you will still be a mom. So now that that's established, cool. We got it. We established that. Give yourself permission to follow your dreams. Because you're not going to stop being a mom. So if you're not going to stop being a mom, then why do you have to stop doing the things that make you happy? It's a really long life not doing things that bring you joy. You can't put yourself in the mom box and stay there. Remember, I said at the beginning of this, being a mother can't be your entire identity. Realize that being a mom is one of the many beautiful puzzle pieces that make up you. And realize this, God's plan for your life, his plan for your dreams included the fact that you would be a mom. God knew you were going to be a mom when he put those dreams on your heart. It was always the plan for you to do both. Do you get that? It was always the plan for you to do both. The plan was always for you to do the work that God wants you to do, and for you to be a mom, and for you to be a wife, a sibling, a daughter, an aunt, a cousin, a friend, all of those things. That was already part of the plan. So if you need permission, there it is. If you need someone to tell you you can do it, there it is. If you want, I'll call you and I'll tell you, girl, get to work. Because like I said, it's a really long life not doing what God has put on your heart. And it's not lame. Whatever you want to do. If you told me, girl, I've been dreaming of being an underwater basket weaver, I would say, then girl, get yourself a kiddie pool and whatever the heck it is you need to do to weave baskets and get to work. I don't care. You have to do what you need to do. Realize there's going to be a trade-off. Realize there's going to be times that you have to focus on that. Realize you're going to have to work around your children's schedules. Realize you're going to have to get your family on board. Realize that you might not be exactly where you want to be when. All of those things are going to happen. It's not if, it's when. So realize that, and then give yourself permission to keep going. Give yourself permission to do it anyway. Give yourself permission to check more than just mom. You know, remember when we did standardized testing when we were kids, you had to fill in the bubbles. And you had to fill in the bubble, you know, are you, whatever your race was, you're white, black / African American, da, 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 da. Well, listen, give yourself permission to fill in more bubbles than just the one. It said in parentheses, you know, check all that apply. Well, guess what? Being a mom is one of the things that applies to you, but there's more. And balancing it is not easy, but it's important, and it's what you need to do. Following your dreams is not selfish. It's not. Following your dreams is actually probably one of the least selfish things that you can do. Because when you're doing something that's good for your soul, you're better. You're just better. You're better. And your children want you to be happy. They do. That's their natural thing, is they want their parents to be happy. They want their moms to be happy. No child has ever said, I want my mom to be miserable and sad and not happy. and literally no child ever say that. Your children love you so much, and they literally don't even understand the love that they have for you. They're obsessed with you just like you're obsessed with them. And just like you want them to be happy, just like you want them to follow their dreams, they want that for you too. They might not have the ability to say that, but they want a happy mom. So give yourself permission to be happy. Give yourself permission to follow your dreams. Remember what I said. It was always the plan. It was always God's plan for you to follow the dream that has been placed on your heart, the dream that He placed on your heart, and for you to be a mom. So guess what? You get to do both. And I think that's pretty awesome. All right. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. Like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. I love Anchor because I was up and running in a couple of hours. You can even record your episodes on the go using their super friendly Anchor app. So, if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Thank you so much for listening. For more information on this and other episodes of Taking Back You, visit takingbackyou.com. And be sure to subscribe and share with your friends.